Internet? Thanks for stumbling on into our Vacant Theater. So let's start by introducing ourselves. I am Unhinged.
And I am Morbid.
So before we jump on into the video, we're just going to share a little bit about ourselves. So for starters, I am the big 1'9", you guys. I am 19 years old. Crazy, I know. I'm sure I probably sound like a middle schooler, but like, what can I do?
And I am 20 myself, or at least very close to turning 20, so I'll just call myself 20 for the sake of this.
Yeah, he's old, you guys. Yeah, old man here. Besides the
Yeah.
point. Um, Another fun fact about myself is that I am an ENFP, which is
Which,
oh so fun.
fun fact, I am an INTJ, which means that me and Unhinged here are a beautiful couple that has great chemistry. Fun fact, guys.
Honestly, yeah. I think if he was any other person, I would probably like try to make him explode at times. But not to say I don't do this anyways. But it doesn't happen as often as you would think. But we
hmm
are dating, and I love the fact that we're total opposites. He is my favorite introvert, like ever.
It is great. She is my favorite extrovert. What can I say?
I better be. Anyways, another thing about myself is that I am very creative, you guys. I spent a lot of my time drawing and painting and sculpting. Fun fact, I here know how to sculpt marble, which is pretty freaking cool, you guys. It's a lost talent.
And I myself, I am quite the opposite. I do not pride myself on sort of visual creativity. I'm a huge tech nerd. I'm a huge math nerd. I love writing
Womp, womp,
software, all that sort of fun
womp,
stuff. That's where my creativity is, I guess.
womp, womp, womp. Anyways, aside from that boringness, you guys, I am also a dog mom. I have a little pupper. He is 5 years old, and I love him to death. He is a long-haired German Shepherd, and again, I just love him to death. He's the sweetest thing ever.
He's the greatest. He barks at me every time he sees me, though. A little
With
fun
love.
factoid with love, with love. A little factoid about myself. I play the electric guitar and drums in my spare time. Am I very good at them? No, I am not. But do I have fun with them?
He is.
Absolutely,
He's
yes, I
lying, y'all.
do.
He's lying. He's lying, y'all. He's lying. He's great. I'm getting
Thank
him
you, thank
pregnant. He's
you.
lying, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, so I'm sure you guys saw from the thumbnail and title. Today, our video is about why the Backrooms should have monsters. This isn't really a popular opinion right now. I don't know how that happened, but it's not that popular of an opinion. But we both believe that the Backrooms movie should have monsters. Would you like to start?
Of course, yeah. I think I have two sort of. Well, I have a main point, and my second point is kind of just building off of this. Guys, can we be honest here? I don't know if all of you guys that are saying that the Backrooms shouldn't have monsters have even read the original Backrooms post. Is that crazy to say? Is that so
It's not
crazy to
ridiculous
say?
to say that. It is
It's
not.
not
It
ridiculous to
is
say
not
that.
ridiculous. It is not ridiculous to say that.
So I have this pulled up from the original post, and I quote, "God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you." This is
I
the
feel the aura, dude. I
key
feel the aura.
point here. This is the key point here, okay? My, I guess our primary argument, because I'm sure Unhinged agrees with me a lot on this,
I totally do, dude. I totally do.
and Unhinged will go into their own points, kind of parallel to it, but honestly, the Backrooms don't have their horror, at least for a feature-length film, if there's not some sort of present threat that's somehow stalking the cast. It doesn't have to be a slasher villain, but honestly, I mean, it's just like this post calls out, the original post calls out. What's scary about the Backrooms unless you have the fear that something is stalking or watching you or can go get you?
Exactly, and I feel especially right now, in my humble opinion, granted, I don't know how great this opinion is, but in my humble opinion, Morbid will tell me if he agrees or not. He hopefully will. I currently feel at this point in time that human versus other humans, or human versus like human nature, not a Michael Jackson reference, but human versus humans in human nature is so overdone at this current point in time. That's not to say this is a terrible theme. I love it. Some of my favorite movies have to deal with this because I am a huge horror nerd. I love when humans are pitted against other humans. It's great. You have movies that are kind of stupid, like House of a Thousand Corpses, where your antagonist is other humans, or Ready or Not 2, and Pearl, the X trilogy. It's great. I don't know about Maxine, but the rest of the X trilogy is really great. But I feel at this current point in time, it's so overdone, and I feel like the Backrooms movie really would benefit from a monster, and it would almost be a cop out if it didn't.
Honestly, I have to wholeheartedly agree, and I think at the end of the day, like I love me a human versus human sort of movie, but I think those sorts of plots are pointing out different things about the natures of the characters. And really, I don't think the horror or the mythos of the Backrooms has ever really suited itself to point out humanity. I think the whole point of the Backrooms is to show how scared you are of foreign things. And so I think that's what it is at the end of the day is you are dropped into this foreign space. It's terrifying and you have no idea what's in it. Maybe there's things in it that are completely foreign to you that could go kill you, that could stalk you down. That's the thing that's scary about it. It's the unknown within the unknown.
Exactly. Adding on to that, I feel it kind of just adds a far worse sense of urgency to like, no, you need to get out of here. Because I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, I think I could just straight kick it in the back rooms. I think I could just chill, dude. I think that'd be amazing, y'all. Like, Loki, just give me a beanbag. I'm set. I could be there for at least like 2, 3 hours, fine. But if I'm there for 2, 3 hours and I'm lollygagging, and all of a sudden this scary creature thingamajiggy looks at me, dude, I'm Loki like peeing my pants and running away. Like, you guys, I'm scared.
That's what I mean.
It startled me.
It startled me. I think past the initial panic attack I would probably have, I would be like, oh, well, the carpet's pretty comfy in here. It might smell a little bit. This is nice. Honestly,
Could be worse. Could be worse.
could be worse. And you know what? I think, and this will go into my second point, is a lot of people like to say, okay, well, the backrooms can still be scary without monsters. And you know what? I think on the internet space, I think obviously the backrooms are scary because the original photo didn't have a monster in it, right? But I think there's this sense that with the liminal spaces, yes, they're scary on the internet when you see them because you look at this image and it makes you feel uneasy. But I think that's different because you're still letting your imagination play. You're still wondering, hey, what's in there? What's really what could get me in there, or what am I scared of within there at a certain point? And I think an empty room works well, but I don't know. I think it can fall short without anything.
Exactly. And I feel like more like if you look at the picture when you first see it, it's like, dude, like they just give me the heebie-jeebies. That's ugly and it's yucky and that's gross. I feel dirty. It makes me feel itchy. I'm not gonna lie. I remember the first time I saw the backrooms picture, like the backrooms picture, what's it referred to as like the lobby,
I
the
think
lobby.
so.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first time I saw it, I remember like I was really itchy and like I broke it in a rash. But the more I stared at the picture, and I stared at this picture for like an hour, half an hour, I started just being like, oh, this is like, bro, this is like the dentist office, or like this, bro, like average lobby in like a Protestant church, bro. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but like that's what it is.
And that's what I mean. I think it's initially scary, but I'm like, the A24 Backrooms movie cannot live off of like hype moments and aura at the end of the day. Like, I think there has to
Of
be
course.
something further that's sort of setting this like fire under the protagonist's feet to keep moving and to keep like being scared, to keep being on edge. I think all horror, I mean, I learned this in like sophomore film class, so I might sound a little elementary, but I think all horror needs some sort of like stakes and build up and actual like payoff or actual climax, and I don't think you can really have that without at least some sort of looming threat that's actively posing some sort of danger to the cast.
Okay, you guys, you know what my hot take's gonna be right now, kind of adding on to that, or not like adding on, but I guess branching off of that. The Backrooms movie having a monster drags in more people. And people would be like, oh, but I don't want the Backrooms to be mainstream. Dude, the Backrooms already are mainstream, bro. Like, my dad knows what the Backrooms are. Like, he sees us on YouTube Shorts, dude. For some context, my dad's like nearly 40 years old, and he's like looking at videos in the Backrooms, dude. He knows, dude. He's seen the little videos, the stupid little doors. The Backrooms have been mainstream for I think since like 2021 now, right? Would you agree,
Honestly,
Morbid?
yeah, like in it okay, like it's a come on, it's a feature-length film what produced by A24. And like honestly, even by the time that Kane Pixels had made the like Backrooms analog horror series, I feel like that was mainstream in a sense. So I feel like there's a lot of people crying over milk that is not really spilled. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I actually am really glad. And honestly, I don't think that the A24 movie represents any of the issues that the Backrooms has in terms of people adding onto it, adding entities to it, adding rooms to it, etc.
Because you know what I'm gonna say, kind of again adding up to that, dude. I gotta learn some more words, dude. Y'all gotta educate me. But I feel like people are getting mad about monsters or like creatures in the backrooms that Kane Pixel himself did not create. I think the only monster Kane Pixel introduced the two monsters, the AC employees and the bacteria. I believe that's all we have right now. Yeah.
I believe so. I think there's variants of bacteria, if I remember right, but I have not seen much of the
Yeah,
like
but
analog
they're
horror in
all
a
like
while.
bacteria-esque, like black like
Yeah,
wiggly worms.
there's not like these like random shadow faces that you see on like the wiki and stuff like that. Like, mhm.
I apologize, y'all. But I think the monsters I see people comparing the most and playing with the most are I don't know if it's a fan made thing, but like the level like fun like the Play-Doh looking creatures. I see people complaining about that a lot. I'm like, dude, that's not Kane Pixels I fear. Like
Yeah,
I fear
like
your birds crash.
it's just because that exists on like an SCP sort of wiki level. Like that doesn't mean that all entities in the backrooms are going to be like Garten of Banban level entities. Like,
Dude, don't disrespect Garden of Ban Ban dog.
dude, no,
Dude,
I'm an avid Garten of Banban fan. I'm just saying no Garten of Banban in the backrooms. Like,
dude, that's my favorite. Don't do that. It's not. It's up there though. It's up there though. It's up there though. But like I was saying, I feel like us having monsters in the backrooms drags in more people. Because honestly, would my mom or my grandma probably go to the backrooms with me if it had no movie? I mean, if it had no monster, if we're at the movie theaters and I'm like, dude, you guys want to watch the backrooms? They're like, oh, what is it about? There's people just wandering around, like these like weird rooms for like an hour and 40 minutes. They'd probably be like, no. But if I was like, you guys, the backrooms is about a movie where these people are dropped into a foreign place and they're getting chased around by this big scary threat, they would probably be most likely to be like, yeah, that sounds good. I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, they're silly, but I think it would catch their attention more than like, oh, people wander.
I
That
feel
happens all
like
the time.
I feel like people almost want it, or like these like so-called like diehards, these anti-monster people, so to speak, almost want like a skinamarink of a movie, and like, okay, I'm a poser. I didn't see Skinamarink in full.
I saw it.
It was a little boring. I turned it off like midway through, but like
Yo, I took a nap.
that's what I mean. Can you really get that much out of people just wandering around? And we just discussed this earlier. We don't want humans pitted up against humans. Honestly, at the end of the day, you need some sort of threat. Even if, the monster only shows up for like one frame of the movie and it's just enough to make the characters and the audience scared that something can get the protagonist at any time and that they are not alone, or that produces the, I guess, feeling that they could not be alone. That's scary enough.
Yeah, and like I know it's kind of stupid, but if we only see the entity like in full once, yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. And I think it would be even cooler if Kane Pixels somehow ran with the concept of it being like a faceless character. Yeah, I know it's just the bacteria, but like if there were clips, is that how I would refer to it? Clips of like the bacteria like lingering in corners, or it's like the little like tentacle finger thingy in the corner, like I think that's really cool. Or if you only ever saw its arms again, because I think it's in the most recent trailer to where we see one of the characters getting dragged off camera by the bacteria. Was that trailer? I think that's the most recent
I
one.
believe so, yes. And I don't think you see any actual like shots of the entity, but you see them getting dragged away, and that's not a human dragging them away.
The only reason I kind of pin it on the entity is because it's like black goopy like
Oh,
mystery
okay,
juices.
okay. I'd probably have to go rewatch it, but yeah, that sounds right.
And I hope that those black mystery juices are coming from the bacteria, not like I don't know, like venom. I don't know, dog. Like
Yeah, yeah. So I would assume that that's probably bacteria.
I hope caked up venom from Marvel Rivals is not in
I hope he is
Backrooms.
not in the back rooms because I will have to go change my pants. Sorry, excuse me.
Bro, if he is, he better be oiled up and waiting for me, dog. What can I say? What can I say?
Exactly, exactly.
Talking about in it. Anyways, y'all. But that's my point. I think the entity would work really well, even if we just saw like not even a full good chunk of it, like a half, like a nonchalant half, like Daniel Larson kind of flicked up picture, and then like he kind of scurried away. And then after that, we only saw like it's like what are they referred to like in like the wiki or something? Like are they like tentacles, fingers? I don't know.
Like
Whatever the hell they are.
tendrils? I don't know. Is this like a Slenderman situation? That's the only terminology I know how to use here.
I'm
I don't know.
Slendy W. Bye.
Anyway,
Anyways, before we run this point on too long, um, I think it was like I think I mentioned it earlier, but like it drags in more people, and I think another way it'll drag in more people is having a monster makes us feel more for our protagonist. I'm thinking of Clark especially right now. In the trailer, there's a point to where Clark is covered in blood, and he's just all alone by himself. I'm gonna assume the monster tried like slamming them out. So this probably in theaters, this probably be like, dude, poor Clark. If there wasn't a monster, Clark would be covered in like the blood of like his other human companions, and that kind of like dehumanizes him in a stupid way. Not the concept of that, but I think it kind of dehumanizes him in like a silly way. Because if he's stuck in the backrooms, why would we feel bad if he's stuck in the backrooms and he's a bad person? You know? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like a great example of this, even if like your monster is off screen, or even like it's more about the illusion that a monster is present. I feel like the biggest example I could say of this, especially like from an analog horror lens, would be the Blair Witch Project. Now, I probably wouldn't go rewatch the Blair Witch Project because I know how it ends. But honestly, you have to say the first time you watch Blair Witch, you are genuinely concerned. I mean, unless you know the twist, you're genuinely concerned that there's something tracking down or like hunting down this like group of high school students. And
Unless you had a fault for you.
yeah, and at the end of the movie, you're like, "Hey, what the fuck happened?" So I think that like idea and that presence, that's enough to scare an audience. You know, we don't need to have like Poppy Playtime chase sequences. We don't need to have like a Jason slasher villain that's like all over the poster and the promotion of the movie. Just give us something that makes us on edge and makes the character want to keep moving their feet. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, dude, we gotta leave like this spooky imposing threat that is like dude, you gotta let it linger, dog. You gotta let it
You
linger.
gotta let it linger, in the words of is it the Cranberries?
The Cranberries, I believe. Yeah, dude, you know the Cranberries, the best Thanksgiving band out there. You know, no one really
Exactly,
can,
dude.
but they did, and I'm really proud of them.
Exactly, exactly. But I would
Uh,
say, honestly, I don't know about you, Unhinged. I think that about concludes like kind of the main ideas I have around this. Like, this is just my main point. I just think the Backrooms has always been meant to exist alongside entities. I think that's kind of the bread and butter of what makes it so scary.
yeah, I completely agree with that. And I'm sorry, but like, dude, like, yes, we said horror could do really well without it. But I think I don't really see any drawbacks from the backrooms having monsters. I see no real drawbacks. Like, I don't see any drawbacks, to be honest. I see no drawbacks. What about you?
I see none. I think as long as you do the monsters right, and I think the ways that we've described, without it being, you know, a slasher villain or some sort of spectacle or like
Without it feeling
some,
cheap.
without it feeling cheap. Yeah, I don't really want to camp Backrooms movie. Although that does sound very fun, and I probably would still go pay $20 to go fucking watch that. Um, you know, I think as long as you do the monster right, there is no drawback to having an entity in the Backrooms.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's our point for today, right?
Yeah, I would say that's kind of the brunt of everything I meant to defend. But yeah, I would say that about wraps this up.
Thank you guys for tuning on into. Well, thank you guys for stumbling on into our theater. You know, we really appreciate it.
We do, and we will see you guys again in the next video.
We will, and everyone, please remember to stay seated while in the theater. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day, night, or whatever the hell you got going on. But I love that for y'all. Bye.